GoPro Decor, and today I just want to give you a demonstration on how to set up the GX FF sprayer. So a couple of guys on my channel have specifically asked for this demonstration. So to Peter and to Liam, I hope this helps, guys. Give me some feedback please if there's anything else you want to share, or if you've got any questions please ask. But I'll do my best just to show you how to initially set up this machine, and I'll go through a few things for you. So let's get on with it, guys. Right everybody, so here is the spray machine in question, and I'm going to be showing you how to set this machine up. I just want to go over a couple of things first. I just want to make this as simple as possible. I don't want to go into too much detail, don't want to give you too much mind-boggling information about what the machine can do, what it can't do. I'll be doing that on other videos and showing you demonstrations. This is simply just to give you a little bit of confidence, and when you get the machine you know how to set it up. So the GX FF, it's got this machine has the hopper on it. So you've got the GX 21, which doesn't, it just has the hose going, which you put directly into the paint tub. So the difference with this machine when setting up, I just want to tell you now, this machine has had some pump armour fitted into it. So I just want to show you inside the pump armour. You can see like a blue tint, and that's just basically a lubrication. So when you're not using the machine for a certain amount of time, you must put this lubrication in, just to stop the internal parts rusting. Because that's what can happen. So you can't completely get every single bit of water out of these machines, so this is really important. You buy some pump armour, which is a Graco product. There is other products you can use as well, but Graco obviously recommend their own, so you're better off sticking with the Graco version or the Graco version, depending on how you want to say it. So that's it, guys. That's the little puddle you can see there. That means that the internal parts of the machine are filled with this lubrication. So what we're going to have to do is, for example, for you guys that want to know how to clean it out, what I'm going to do is, obviously I can't clean it out for you now, but we can pretend for the purpose of this video that that's paint inside there. So the first thing you need to do is to flush it out before you can use it again. So that's what I'm going to show you. So we're going to flush that out. So let me put that back on there. Just want to show you a couple of little things on the machine first. So the first thing you need to do is a little valve under the hopper. So see where that black little knob is? That there, before you come to use the machine, every time you need to push that down. So there's a little ball bearing inside there, and it tends to get stuck. If it gets stuck, it's not going to spray. So every single use, the first thing you must do is make sure that that clicks down. So I don't know whether you can hear that, but it is just clicking down. It only goes very, very slightly down. You can feel it clicking down. So that's one of the first things. Now the other thing is, so let me just explain. The pump itself, it's like in two sections. So you've got the first section, which is getting the material into the actual pump itself, and that basically, like a lubricator, the material goes into the pump, because then the pump needs to spray that material back out through the spray hose and then out of the gun. So that's the two stages I'm trying to explain. So the first thing you do when you come to use it, you need to prime the machine. So there's two settings on the machine, which is on the other side, and there's the prime valve and the spray valve. So when it's pushed down, to be honest with you, now I can't actually remember which one is which, but one is up and one is down on this machine. So what we'll do is, when we come to do the demonstration, obviously I'll figure that out straight away. One is prime, one is pump. So what we're doing is, now we need to put some fluid into that to flush it out. So that's what I'm going to be doing now. Right, so what we're going to do is, we've got two buckets here, and obviously we want to fill this up now with water because we need to flush it through. So let's fill the hopper up with the water. like so. It's always handy, by the way, to have at least 2 or 3 tubs for filling and emptying when you're cleaning out a sprayer. So we put that back on. Let's plug the machine in, guys. Make sure it's switched on. Make sure the guard is set on locked, so you can't pull the trigger on that, guys. You cannot pull the trigger, so that's in a safe part. Now we don't need the guard tip on when we're flushing it out, because we don't need the tip because we're not actually spraying right now. That can go on afterwards, so we can take that off. As you can see, we've just got the exposed nozzle on the actual gun. So let's get the power on. Now, like I said earlier, I don't know whether it's in prime or whether it's in spray at the actual moment. So the first thing we do when we're ready, so you've got this nozzle here, and that's the pressure. So what that does is, if it says, it has clearly on here, it's got prime, then green FFLP, which is the fine finish low pressure, and then it goes to blue, which is the normal pressure, which is the blue Graco tips, as opposed to the green one, which are fine finish, less overspray, etc. So anyway, we'll go into that a bit later. But what we want it on prime, because we're going to prime it first. One thing to remember, if you put this nozzle straight down to the lowest, it's not going to kick in. It's something to do with the label that's on the actual dial. It's not accurate. You have to turn it up a little bit and turn up the pressure, otherwise it will not kick in. You need to turn it out. So I go right up to the top end of the prime setting. So that's what it's on now. I've already pressed the nozzle, it's already going to spray. So what we do is, first of all, normally if this was paint, you take this out, and in the prime position, what it will do, it will flush out the pump. No water will go through the hose at all. It will just clean through the pump. That's what I was saying about 2 different stages. Very important to remember. So obviously it's in spray mode now because it's not coming on, because I'm not pulling the trigger or anything. So to put it in pump mode, you'll see the water coming out of this nozzle here, which is just cleaning the pump part of the machine, the internal part of the machine. So that's what you need to do first. As you can see, it's in prime mode, so it's just pumping out. Whatever's in that pump is flushing through the pump. Always turn it off first, then we push the nozzle down to spray mode. We stick that back in, because what we're going to do now is, because we've flushed that through, and that was just water then being flushed from this hopper through the pump part of the machine. When that's clear, then we can obviously clean out the hose, which has also got lying pump armour, lubricant. So if we can close that up, we now get the spray part of the machine. And always, you can use the same bucket, but because of the purpose of this video, I've got a nice big area there, but normally it would go in the bucket, but I can flush this through straight onto the grass. So take the guard off. We can up the pressure because we're spraying, so we can put that up to say 1/2 to 3/4 of the way for the purpose of cleaning it. And now when we spray this, it should come out and you'll see the pressure coming out now. Switch it back on because we're ready to go. That's the machine pressuring up. It's pumped all the material up to the end of the hose where it meets the gun, and now we can spray. So what we're doing now is we're flushing what we don't want out of the machine out of the hose now, not just the pump. So many different ways actually that you can do this. Not everybody has exactly the same routine, and to be honest, if I've not used a sprayer for a while, I kind of have to work it out again, and it's not always easy remembering. Unless you use these day in, day out, you don't necessarily, you don't necessarily remember everything. It comes back to you again when you start using it, so it's not second nature. Just to show you, well, just for my purpose now, I can see that there's not a lot of water left in that. What I do is fill it up again, pump a bit more through. Empty this out, and then I want to pump it into the bucket just to show you how clear the water is now. We'll know if there's any material left in that we don't want in it. Show you now, that's the water inside there. So I'm not completely happy with that, that's completely gone. Still more water to flush out. So I'm happy with that. The pump's been primed, flushed through, and then the hose has been flushed through, and now it's just pulling through clear water, which is what I put into the hopper, and now it's eventually got rid of what was in it and it's replaced it for clean water. So I just want to explain, if that was paint, the big difference is the tip and the guard would have paint on it. The gun would have paint on it, the hopper would have paint on the inside of it. So the only difference is, what I would, if I was cleaning out the machine with it having paint in, the first thing I would do was flush the inside of the hopper out. So I'd get a bit of a cloth or something a bit more abrasive, give it a bit of a scrub, and I'd get any lying paint or paint that's dried or stuck to the inside off first. Because whatever you don't get rid of is just going to be constantly going through the machine when you're trying to clean it out. There's no point in doing that. So the first thing I do is get round the inside of the hopper, clean it out, flush it out just a couple of times first. Then when I'm happy that that's pretty much clean, then I go through the process that I've just done. So it's cleaning the pump through, cleaning the hose through. So don't forget, it's like the pump is like a two-stage part, or a two-part pump. It's the priming, and so it's the pump, which is prime, and then the spray, which is on the other setting. So just want to explain that prime, when it's turned round the other way and then you're then putting paint into it, what you're doing by priming the pump is you're lubricating the pump with the paint that you're then going to be spraying. So you're basically just inserting the paint into the pump area, and then the pump can then supply the hose. So that's the two part of the spraying that I'm trying to explain. I hope it's making sense. I'm trying to do it as simply as possible. If you remember those things about the pump and the gun, you can pretty much work out your best method for cleaning the machine out and filling it up. So now we've got that out of the way, I'll just quickly explain what I would do if I was now spraying and I was putting a new material in there. So now I would put the paint in the hopper, I would stick it on prime, I would stick this nozzle in a separate bucket, and what I would do is I would pump it out until paint starts coming through this nozzle. Then you know that the pump is fully primed with the material you're using. Then at that stage, you simply put the lid on, put it into spray position, and then put your trigger on your gun until the paint starts coming out of the hose. And at the point that the paint starts coming out of the hose, turn it all back off, stick your tip on, stick your guard on, you're ready to go. So it is as simple as that, really. Any questions, guys, just fire ahead. I'll answer any questions. I've tried to make it as simplified as possible. I'll do more videos if required. I'm going to be doing more videos when I use this, hopefully. So just try to think if there's anything else I can tell you while I'm here. Yeah, so the process for when you are cleaning it, the only thing I can add is I mentioned that I'd clean the hopper first before doing the process that I've just done. Well, then at the end, you would always make sure, because you've got to clean the internal part of the tip when that's on as well. So when the guard and the tip are on, so the guard goes on like so, and then the tip goes in there as so, yeah? And when the tip's on, you've got to clean that as well. So during that process of cleaning, the tip needs to be on while you're flushing it out. Now there's a limit. This is something you must know. Because these are all reversible tips, by the way. The purpose of that is if you get any blockages, you can fire out the blockage and then twist it back round again 180 degrees. But when you've got the tip reversed and it's coming out like a really thin line, really powerful, a bit like when you've got a lance on a jet wash, there's a limitation to how much you can do that. It does wear the tip down when it's reversed, so that's something to keep in mind. Don't overdo it on the tip when you're flushing the tip through. The majority of the tip cleaning is right at the end when you've finished doing the pump. You'll get everything off the gun, you'll detach the gun, you'll detach the guard, you'll detach the tip, and you'll have to clean them externally as well. So inside the tip, inside all the little holes, orifices, there is a kit you can buy. They're like little wire brushes. You can use toothbrushes, you can use all sorts of different things. It doesn't have to be the specific kit that you get, but whatever suits you best to get in all the little nooks and crannies. But you must make sure you clean the gun sufficiently when you've used it. That's really important. So anyway, I hope this helps, guys, and I'll see you very soon. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.